We'll open tonight's Committee of the Whole. Welcome everybody to the Auburn City Council Committee of the Whole meeting for May 4th, 2021. Before we get started, I just want to let everybody know there's some impending weather that's approaching. And in a worst case scenario, if the sirens were to go off, that there'll be procedures for us to exit the room. We'll direct you at that point in time, but we are watching it right now. Okay? All right, thank you. All the city council should have their minutes from the April 20th meeting. Do I have any additions or corrections? If not, do I have a move for approval?
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, have a motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are carried forth. Questions on the agenda for City Manager Crouch?
Hey, Mayor, I wanted to remind everybody, we put a sales tax holiday exemption list in front of you. I apologize that was not included in your binders, but since you'll be considering that item under ordinances this evening, here's the list, and we'll get that updated on the website in case people have questions.
Good, thank you very much. All right, any questions for the city manager?
I have a question, Mayor,
Sure.
if I may.
Go
Not
ahead.
exactly on the agenda, but it's about the last chance I have to ask it. Megan, I've been approached with several of my constituents on Cox Road asking about the striping. We recently heard there's going to be 2 traffic lanes with a bike lane on each side, and it looks like we got a multi-use path from Longleaf to Wire, which is great. But some of us were thinking, wouldn't we be better served to have a turn lane because of the vehicular traffic the way it is now out there? Wouldn't we do better to have a turn lane down the middle and 2 traffic lanes on each side? I'd just like to know what the thinking was on that.
All right, Chief Dawson, I'll have our city engineer, Allison Frazier, she can give you the reasons why the bike lanes were originally spec'd in and if there's any possibility to change that.
Yeah, so, that's really loud. Sorry. The design guidelines were developed after an extensive traffic analysis. When the project was originally scheduled or discussed several years ago, it did not include a roundabout at Wire Road. It did not include the configuration we have now. So after the budget was approved, we did a traffic study. We pulled accident data because I was concerned about the left turns. We didn't find any accident data to support a center turn lane or even left turn lanes. We did traffic projections to see how many lanes we would need. So we did a 10-year projection, looked at our design guidelines, and the 2 lanes with the bike lanes is sufficient. Cox Road has been on our bike map for many, many years. So this was also an opportunity for us to complete a section of our bike map. We received input from the bike committee. We had Strava heat maps, if you will. So it just supported the 2 lanes with 6-foot bike lanes, which are buffered. Those 6-foot bike lanes on either side can be converted into a 3rd lane in the future if traffic conditions change significantly or they warrant that 3rd lane. Regarding the multi-use path, it is a connection from Longleaf Drive, and it will connect us to the soccer complex. Again, just one of the things on our long-range plans to have additional connectivity.
Thank you. So I guess the reason you did it was because the studies indicated that's the way it needed to be done.
Yes, sir.
And we're very thankful for the bike lanes, don't get me wrong, but it's not right now. I mean, this may change. It's not heavily ridden by bikes now on that particular stretch. Once you get past now the multi-use path from Longleaf to the soccer complex is great. You can walk all the way into Auburn just about by the vet school up through there and be connected to all that. But we were just thinking that traffic is horrendous out there now. I don't know when the study was done, but I guess it's horses out of the barn now, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the study was done before we commenced our design, so we did that maybe in 2018 now. But again, those bike lanes, if something changes significantly, we can convert those bike lanes to a travel lane in the future. Because we essentially have 3 lanes of width. We have 36 feet of pavement.
Gotcha. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Chief, did you get what you needed?
I understand where she's coming from. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions for the city manager? Okay, do I have a move to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, Committee of the Whole is adjourned, and we'll wait just one more minute. Lindsay? I'll Call to order tonight's Auburn City Council meeting. Roll call, Lindsay.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Present.
Here.
Here.
Here. Would you please rise for the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. We'll begin our mayor and council communications tonight with our video of our Employee of the Month and other service awards. This is Mayor Ron Anders, and we're excited to introduce you to our May Employee of the Month, as well as our other employees who've done an outstanding job for the City of Auburn with their service awards. This is Mayor Ron Anders, and I'm excited to introduce you to our May Employee of the Month. I have a memorandum here from Paul Register, the Director of Public Safety, written to Megan McGowan Crouch, the Auburn City Manager. Firefighter Carson Stroud began his employment with the City of Auburn as a student firefighter in 2012 while obtaining a degree in aviation management and eventually earned a position as a career firefighter. According to Fire Chief Langford, Carson's peers and supervisors describe him as one who arrives to work each morning with a positive attitude. He exhibits great attention to detail and completes all tasks in a timely manner. He leads by example, is quick to assist others, and constantly seeks ways to improve himself and the crew. One of his primary functions is to drive and operate the fire apparatus each shift. He takes pride in the assigned equipment and ensures it is in proper working order and presentable to the extent that the truck rims are so polished one could use them as a mirror. Congratulations. Firefighter Stroud constantly seeks improvement. Not only has he achieved all certifications and classes needed for his current position as career firefighter, he has also completed more advanced levels of certification such as Fire Inspector 1, Fire Officer 1, and a course in vehicle machinery extraction. Firefighter Stroud is an ambassador for the fire division in the City of Auburn. He is self-motivated and routinely spends time, while not involved in other tasks, repairing broken equipment and maintaining the fire station. From fixing malfunctioning doors to personally walking lost citizens to where they need to be, he takes pride in every task he is involved in. Consistency, selflessness, a strong commitment to quality work, and his willingness to help others without hesitation are just a few of the reasons that Carson Stroud is a great employee, a great person, and a great example to others of how we should serve our citizens. It is my pleasure to recommend him as the Employee of the Month. Hey, thank y'all for your time. I'm sure that it was very difficult for you to get out of class and come over here, so thank you for making that sacrifice. But sincerely, very proud of you. Thank you for being champions. Thank you for representing our community and our school system. Thank you for persevering during a very awkward and unusual year. I can tell you, being in the world of civic debate, that there's probably a lot I can learn from each one of you. So if I call you all or contact you all individually, please assist me. We've had some very unusual debates at the city level here recently, and we'll probably have some more to come. But I hope you've learned a great lesson that will take you to an unusual and wonderful place in your future. So good luck to all of you. If you'll be patient with me, I'll read this resolution. And I've got Ms. Yeager here. Please forgive me if I mispronounce a name incorrectly. I will be trying the best I can, okay? All right, the City Council is pleased to honor Auburn City Schools, its faculty, staff, and students for their excellent achievements and contributions both inside and outside the classroom. And whereas the Auburn High School debate team recently won the Alabama State Tournament sweepstakes in the debate sector and won third place in the overall tournament sweepstakes. And whereas the team took home several first, second, and third place speaker titles in the varsity public forum debate, the JV public forum debate, and the novice Lincoln Douglas debate, and the big question debate. And whereas Ryan Tice came in second place and Jack Wittenberg came in fifth in the Congressional Novice Senate debate. And whereas Caleb Shockley and Kalia Williams were semifinalists and Abby Boland and Ellie Shoemate were runners-up in the Junior Varsity Forum debate. And whereas Nandina Reddy and Sujin Park, Joseph McElroy and Bryant Ingram, Courtney Blackman and Jack Wittenberg were all quarterfinalists in the Varsity Public Forum debate. And whereas Ben Price was runner-up in the Novice Lincoln Douglas debate. And whereas Gabriel Al was the state champion and national qualifier in the Big Questions debate. Congratulations. And whereas the championship team consists of Gabriel Al, y'all hang in there with me, Yewan Bong, Courtney Blackman, Abby Boland, Heaven Burnham Sparks, Lindsay Everman, Sophia Foradora, Ellie Foster, Bryant Ingram, Tyler Clue, Joseph McElroy, Molly Norris, Aubrey O'Brien, Hun-Hee Park, Sunju Park, Ben Price, Nandina Reddy, Charlie Sexton, Caleb Shockley, Ellie Shoemate, Alma Sorek, Ryan Tice, Burke Tuzan, Jack Wittenberg, Kalia Williams, Abby Wicks, and Nick Zuck. I hope I got close on most of them. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Auburn, Alabama, that the council hereby recognizes and formally congratulates the competitors and coach from the 2020-2021 Auburn High School debate team for their outstanding achievements and their exemplary efforts in representing the Auburn City Schools and our City of Auburn. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of this meeting and presented to Coach Donna Yeager and her team, adopted and approved by the City of Auburn on 4th day of May, which will be our next City Council meeting of May 2021. Congratulations to each one of y'all.
Thank you,
Ladies, we are extremely proud of you. I think the story of what y'all have done and overcome is a great story for all of us in Auburn, no matter our age or stage in life. You've come a long way in a short period of time, and you've worked hard to get there. And we are here today to applaud your efforts and to celebrate your success. So we're very proud of you. Thank you for representing Auburn High School and our city, and thank you for being a great example to all the people that live here. All right? Okay, here's a resolution. Whereas the City Council is pleased to honor Auburn City Schools, its faculty, staff, and students for their excellent achievements and contributions both inside and outside of the classroom. And whereas the Auburn High School girls tennis team recently claimed the 2021 Alabama High School Athletic Association 7A state championship. And whereas after leaving the 2019 state tournament with no match victories and 0 points, the Lady Tigers redeemed the school's legacy by returning to and winning the state championship. And whereas the team also took home individual state championship for Camilla Bozeman in number 3 singles, Catherine Kirkland in number 5 singles, and Claire Bozeman and Jane League in number 1 doubles. And whereas the championship team consists of Caroline Argenti, Camilla Bozeman, Claire Bozeman, Shreya Ajanker, Jane Freeman, Catherine Kirkland, Jane League, Eunice Lee, Sophia Smith, and Hanbi Yon. Hope I got most of that right. Now therefore will be resolved by the City Council of the City of Auburn, Auburn, Alabama, that the council hereby recognizes and formally congratulates the players and coaches from the Auburn High School girls tennis team for their outstanding achievements and their exemplary efforts in representing Auburn City Schools and the City of Auburn. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of this meeting and presented to Coach Hollis Davis and her team, adopted and approved by the City of Auburn on the 4th day of May 2021. And that'll be our next council meeting. Congratulations. We are very proud of y'all.
Thank you very much.
Thank everybody for for all the support and help. Obviously, normally we would bring those young people into our room here and recognize them publicly, but we're making the best of a situation and extremely proud of both of those teams. What a great story that they both have, and we're proud of their accomplishment. And I appreciate the school system letting us come over there and interrupt their day and do these videos. Thank you, Cynthia, for setting all that up. Just a couple things as mayor's announcements, and the storm hits us here. Speaking of firefighters, we've got our firefighter graduation on May the 14th, and Megan, will that be in this room?
No, it will be in the courtroom.
It'll be in the courtroom, okay. Another great group of student firefighters, I presume, Mr. Register, and we look forward to them graduating and appreciate that as we recognize one tonight, a former student firefighter as our Employee of the Month. Went to Lee Scott the other day and had a lot of fun. There was a lot of activity there for the first ever fire versus police softball game. I think it was competitive, Mr. Register, till late in the game, and the firefighters kind of pulled away with a big inning, but a lot of support there, raised money for charity, and it looked like everybody was having a good time and nobody was hurt, from best I understand, correct?
That's right. Everybody made it out okay.
Okay, that's a good thing too, but we appreciate. That's exactly right. Well, I appreciate everybody being a good sport about it, and it was a great time over there. Recently, you might have seen our baskets downtown were replanted, and I appreciate the support of our city staff. The Auburn Beautification Council, that's one of their pet projects, and we're very grateful for them. There was a lot of kind and sweet people climbing on ladders and planting annuals in those baskets. Katrina, I know you're very involved in that organization. We just appreciate what they do and what those baskets mean to downtown Auburn. I hope when you see some of their people, you tell them thank you, because it's a great, great addition to downtown Auburn. Ms. Crouch and I and a few other staff members were able to go over to the new Rain Center and receive a report and a program about what will be going on inside of that building. What an exciting addition that's going to be to our city. I hope all of you are excited about it. I think the amenities and the events that they're going to add to Auburn is going to be something that we're going to be very proud of in the future, and I appreciate them sharing their vision with us. It's going to be a great asset. City Fest happened a couple of weeks ago. Thank you, Becky, to your staff and all the other city staff for making that happen. We pivoted from a bad weather day, speaking of tonight, and had it for half a day on Sunday, and it ended up being a great event. There was a lot of people out there having a good time, and I think it was therapeutic for a lot of us in Auburn that have been stuck inside and looking for something fun to do with our families, and I appreciate everybody's hard work in making that happen. The National Day of Prayer is this coming week. I'm going to be out of town with my family. I appreciate Chief Dawson's going to substitute and pinch hit for me and participate in the National Day of Prayer with Mayor Fuller. That'll be at lunchtime over at the County Courthouse Square in Opelika. And I want to thank the following organizations for allowing me to come and asking me to come speak to them recently: the Lee County Realtors, a Political Science Class 4050 on campus, the Auburn University Fraternity Presidents, the AYP Group at the Chamber of Commerce, and the Auburn Kiwanis Club. I've spoken to all of those groups here in the last 2 weeks, and I appreciate it. And today is National Teacher Appreciation Day, so if you do run into one of our local teachers, no matter what school, no matter what age, if you'll just tell them thank you, because they do a lot of great work on behalf of all of us. All right. Does anybody else on the council have an announcement or something they'd like to report tonight?
Well, I do. I have 2 events that's coming up. On May 22nd, an all-day event at the Martin Luther King Park, and it's called Unsung Hero Day. And we'll be celebrating some African Americans in the community on that day. And that event starts at 10 o'clock, and the ceremony for that will be starting at 12 noon. And also on June 19th, there's going to be a Juneteenth celebration at Sam Harris Park. And those details are to be announced at a later date.
Thank you, Connie. Anyone else on the council have anything they'd like to announce tonight? Okay, well, we'll move forward then to Auburn University Communications.
Hi everyone, thank you all for having me again. Some things have been happening around campus lately. Classes and exams have finished for the semester, so we had a great spring semester, mostly remote learning. We're really excited to get back in the fall and hopefully have much more in-person classes. Auburn University still is continuing to get those COVID doses out, mostly the second dose of Moderna. I got mine today. There are a lot of students who are really excited to get it through Auburn University. The Auburn graduation ceremonies happened last weekend in Jordan-Hare. It was a great sunny day. We're really excited for those Auburn grads, and they got through a tough year, and we can't wait to see what they do after they leave the Plains. Next Camp War Eagle orientation, freshman orientation, starts at the end of May, so we're excited to see the freshman class come in, class of 2025, and get them accustomed to Auburn, and we've been working really hard all semester to get ready for that. And then last but definitely not least, our mascot, Albie the Tiger, won his 10th national championship, so we're so excited and so proud of how well he represents us on a national level. So that's pretty much all I have. Thank y'all. War Eagle.
Thank you. Thank you. We're proud of Albie too, and what a great weekend it was last weekend to see all the parents and families here in town for graduation, and I know that was great for our local stores, so happy for that.
Mayor,
All right, yes, yeah, go ahead.
Let me just say something about the two events, and I missed this part.
Sure.
Both events is open to the public.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, sure, thank you, Connie. Okay, we'll move ahead with citizens' communications for items on the agenda. This is just items that are on tonight's agenda. We have a couple of items that have public hearings, but most do not. So if you'd like to speak to the city council about something on the agenda, this would be your time. Not seeing anyone. We'll move ahead to city manager's communications.
All right, Mayor, this evening we have one vacancy on the Indian Pines Recreation Authority. The term begins June 3rd, 2021 and ends June 2nd, 2025. The appointment will be made at the June 2nd, 2021 meeting. Just a little sidebar to that, there's been some questions from some citizens about when our online portal opens. And that online portal does not open until we make the announcement at the council meeting. So I think it's important that you understand. A few of you had questions about that, and we let the public know that that is the case. And so that's important, and we do keep that. There's been some confusion also about a few things. I do need to correct, the date is actually June 1st, and it is wrong on your agenda or on my agenda. The appointment will happen June 1st, 2021. And I apologize for that, that's why I was checking my calendar. So in essence, first meeting in June, we'll do that. But moving from there, are you ready for the consent agenda, Mayor?
We are.
All right, our first item of business is the consent agenda. Does any council member wish to remove an item from the consent agenda and deal with that item individually?
Yes, I'd like item 8B3 removed.
Item 8F1.
8F1 and 8B3.
Anyone else? Okay.
All right, Mayor, item 8B3 is a commendation for Abby Ronson, the Auburn University SGA Director of City Relations.
Motion?
Move for approval.
Second. Thank you. I just wanted to stop here and tell Abby thank you. In a normal setting, we would bring you forward and make a bigger deal of this, make a presentation, and we're going to have you over to the office sometime soon and take a picture. But I just appreciate you hanging in there with us. What a crazy year for all of us, but what a crazy year for our student representative from Auburn to get on Zoom and participate in our meetings, and we thank you for your commitment. And I just want you to be recognized. I'd like for everybody to give Abby a hand right now. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments, questions? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. You're welcome.
Item 8F1 authorizes the purchase of an LED double-sided sign for the Boykin Community Center from Sign World in the amount of $25,600.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Connie, we'll start with questions, comments with you.
Okay. I understand what this is. I just want to, for the public, people that's listening, to understand what the sign is that's going up in front of Boykin.
So what we're doing, there's a memo in your packets that it explains from our Community Services Director, Al Davis. He runs not only our community development block grant programs, but he's in charge of the Boykin Community Center, and he manages that facility. And there had been a request in the last year to 2 years that we promote much more at the Boykin Community Center about all that's going on from a City of Auburn lens for board and commission meetings, workshops, events. What would the public need to know, specific messaging. And we have a lot of activity at the Boykin Community Center where we have a number of citizens who have their children in daycare there. We have a workout facility. We have gymnasium. We have senior programs. We're actually getting ready. Tyler Witten has come forward with a new library kiosk there. We've got a new media center. We're doing a lot of things there. We're going to tour you through there fairly soon, but we want to promote city events, and Councilperson Taylor played a strong role in asking that we do this. To be specific, though, this is only for city events. Community groups can't advertise on there because it is at a city facility, but we will certainly promote city council meeting tonight, committee of the whole, planning commission's meeting. Have you heard about, the downtown plan? All of those things will be on this, and this is meant to just capture the interest of those who visit the facility, and hopefully they'll learn something or learn that we have a road closure or anything like that, just trying to get information out.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. I have a motion to approve the balance of the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the consent agenda is approved.
Okay, Mayor, under ordinances this evening, item 9A amends Chapter 12, Licenses, Taxation, and Miscellaneous Business Regulations of the City Code to include a category specifically related to short-term rental business licensing. This is the second reading of this item.
I'd like to just start off by everybody noticing that Councilman Dixon has removed himself and will abstain from this vote. Okay, so this second reading,
There is no
Percent-
public hearing, and
no
this
public
is just, you would need a motion and a second, and then you would have discussion.
okay. Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion, comments, questions from the council?
I would just like to acknowledge that it's important that those who understand the reason I'm voting in favor of this is not because I'm in favor of short-term rentals, the amended ordinance that passed, although that is our current law. But I think it's very important that we provide the proper tools and processes, which is the business license process. So for that reason, I'll be in favor of this piece of the process.
Any other comments, questions?
I have a related question for City Manager. It speaks to the whole business of enforcement, and I was wondering if you could update us as to if we're going forward with the Granicus STR helper contract to the larger extent. I think there are a number of different levels one can contract with them, and I think the one that I think will be helpful for the enforcement is the more extensive contract. I wonder if you could speak to that.
I can have some other staff members speak to the contract specifically, but I think what's important to note is on enforcement, we've been at a standstill until this business license ordinance is passed because we need to notify everybody we believe per Granicus. To your point, we have data. They are ready. They send emails every day to a large group of us about how ready they are to help us. I think we have the appropriate package at this time, unless finance director tells me differently. We are ready to send letters, but we needed this business license ordinance to pass, and then everybody is going to get a letter that we believe is operating a short-term rental that says one of two things. Either you're in a zone that you can lawfully do this and you need to get a business license, or you're in a zone where you may not do this and you need to cease and desist. And once we send those letters, we're going to go about 30 days and send another one, and then we're going to another strong reminder, please stop this. I think there's been a lot of comments about there and concerns about football season. There is no notion when a law is on the books that we will not enforce it, but without the proper tools in place, I can't even make somebody who wants to get a business license and who wants to be lawful doing so. So this is a big step should you adopt this tonight. On the complaint side, if we had received complaints, we would still follow up with them because we do have an ordinance in place. But to the tool in the toolbox, there's been discussion. I said 90 days. We adopted this in March, but we're a month and a half or so in, and we haven't begun larger scale enforcement like we would like to because we've got to have this ordinance on the books so that we can strike the balance of you can get a license and this is how you do it. We will be pushing out very hard implementation of this, but I do think our citizens need to understand that we're also ramping up to get another person in the finance department and another neighborhood inspector, and that's part of this process, as we indicated. And we're doing what we can, and it's not a notion that we won't enforce it, but we also have to give people some time to comply. It doesn't mean that there's going to be grace during football season. I think there's some concerns about that we're going to turn a blind eye, or that we do. That is not a choice that we have. You adopted a law and we must enforce it, but we're firing warning shots that you need to be licensed. We will have extra people working on football weekends away from their families and doing the things they need to do, because it's our job to enforce the law, and we will go out and deal with this, but the database plays the key in complaints that we receive. I had somebody ask me if you could have gotten a strike yet, because we had some issues over graduation weekend, and the answer is it's, that theoretically, I would have to check with the city attorney. That's a very hard situation because nobody has a license. So to have a strike, you actually have to be licensed. And so it's a chicken and egg situation, but we will send people out, and we'll be happy to talk to anybody if they're not doing so lawfully. I'm also asked pretty frequently, could you please tell me when you're going to enforce this or what the fine's going to be? The fine is very simple. Our standard fine in the zoning ordinance is $500 a day for every day you're in violation, or 6 months in jail for every day you're in violation, whatever the judge decides your fine's going to be. So I do think there's a notion that people say, I'll just take the fine. Well, they can talk to the judge about that if they don't want to be lawful when we begin to implement this. That will be a matter of law, and we will enforce it as equitably as we can. So I think you knew that this wouldn't be easy. We've made no bones about it, but as Councilperson Witten said, the law has been adopted by a majority of the council, and we will move forward with it until you decide otherwise.
Thank you. I
Is that
appreciate
helpful?
that.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, Lindsay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 All right, item.
Perhaps before we move forward,
Yes.
can we,
Yes,
let's get
sorry, I
Mr.
was-
Dixon back in.
We don't have speakers in there, so he
understand.
cannot hear. So he's coming back out for the public. There's a conference room back there, and here he comes. Okay, Mayor. Item 9B exempts specified items from the city's 4% sales tax during the 2021 back-to-school sales tax holiday held on the third full weekend in July, which is July 16th through 18th. That's a Friday to a Sunday. Unanimous consent is necessary.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Does anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with the vote on this evening? Hearing none, any comments or questions? Okay, Lindsay with the roll call.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Item 9C is the renewal of a non-exclusive franchise agreement with Windstream FiberNet LLC. Unanimous consent is necessary.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Does anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with a vote on this evening? All right, hearing none, any comments or questions? Okay, Lindsay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Item 9D is a request from Perryman Hill LLC to annex approximately 33.89 acres located at the western terminus of Academy Drive. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval at its March 11th, 2021 meeting. Unanimous consent is necessary.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Does anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with a vote on this evening? Hearing none, are there any comments or questions? Okay, Lindsay?
Hovey,
Yes, ma'am.
Parsons,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes, ma'am.
Taylor,
Yes.
Witten,
Yes.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Dixon,
Yes.
Griswold,
Yes, ma'am.
Anders.
Yes.
Item 9E1 is a request from Edgar Houston on behalf of Perryman Hill LLC to rezone approximately 33.89 acres from rural to development district housing for property located at the western terminus of Academy Drive. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval at their March 11th, 2021 meeting. Unanimous consent is necessary and a public hearing is required.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second. I have a motion second. Does anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with a vote on this evening? Okay. Hearing none, at this time we'll open the public hearing. If you'd like to address the city council, please come forward and give your name and address for the record. Yes, sir.
Well, I apologize, I'm kind of hard of hearing. I do want to address the council, but I'm not sure if this is the right time.
Do you want to address us on this item, 9E1?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, no problem. Anyone like to address the council? This time we'll close the public hearing. Does anyone on the council have any comments or questions?
I do have one question. There's the area of 33.89 is outlined in green, and then there's a subsection in like a fuchsia purple color that's also being rezoned. Is that part of, then would that impact the actual?
That's the second
Oh,
item.
it's the second one? Never mind. Thank you.
So you're on this one right now?
Yep, all
Okay.
right, we're good.
You're good?
E2
Okay.
deals with it.
All right, any other comments or questions? Okay, Lindsay, roll call.
Parsons,
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Taylor,
Yes.
Benton,
Yes.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Griswold,
Yes, ma'am.
Hovey,
Yes, ma'am.
Anders.
Yes.
Item 9E2 is a request from Edgar Houston on behalf of Perryman Hill LLC to rezone approximately 5.56 acres from Comprehensive Development District to Development District housing for property located at the western terminus of Academy Drive. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval at their March 11th, 2021 meeting. Unanimous consent is necessary and a public hearing is required.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
I have a motion and seconds. Anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with a vote on this evening? Okay. Hearing none, we'll open the public hearing. If you'd like to address the city council, please come forward and give your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from the council? Okay, Lindsay with the roll call.
Yes, ma'am.
Taylor,
Yes.
Benton,
Yes.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Dixon,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Hovey,
Yes, ma'am.
Parsons,
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor, that is the end of the ordinances. We have no resolutions or other business for you, so those are all the items of business we have on the agenda this evening.
At this time, we'll open the citizens' open forum. This is an opportunity for you to talk to the city council about anything that might be on your mind. You have 3 minutes to address the council. Please give your name and address for the record. It's important that you address the council and not individuals on the council or not anyone on the staff. If there is any questions or follow-up, then we will do the best we can to get those answers to you in as quick a time as possible. Okay? Would this be your time, sir? Yes, sir. Please.
Thank you for the opportunity to allow me to speak here today. My name is Robert M. Ward Sr., a lifelong native of Auburn. Unfortunately, 3 minutes is not going to be enough for me to convey what I'd like on my mind.
Could you give us your address, please?
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Ward?
sorry. It's 891 Lee Road 395, Auburn. It's referred to as Bar W Farm. It's one of the oldest farms in Lee County, Alabama. I've been up here before and to the Lee County Commission over the years on several occasions voicing my concern about environmental issues with the Sand Hill recycling. I do not have a problem with the people that own it or operate it, but I've always said that I don't appreciate the sludge and the filth and the mud that's tracked onto the road and is literally swept into the branch that runs through my property. I'm not here to lecture you on environmental law or law, but the law is clear about this. U.S. Fish and Wildlife considers this a felony. Now, I do know when I watched Auburn defend the oak trees that got killed, I watched y'all run to the aid of Opelika just recently about the quarry. Is there any particular reason that y'all is off limits to me and my property and the federal government? I mean, you guys and girls are pretty much in charge of looking after this. And I realize your trucks and stuff are out there, and I believe in recycling. I believe in a lot of things, but there's right and a wrong way to do it. What I'm hoping to do today is to extend my last olive branch to all of y'all. I'm not going to threaten y'all because I don't want to be threatened. But if I have to go into a federal court to resolve this issue, ladies and gentlemen, I will. If I took a street sweeper and swept mud into the city of Auburn's lake for years on end, how many years would each one of you ask me to quit? You would have me arrested. You would have me follow the letter of the law. You're taking taxpayers' money and violating state, federal, and city ordinances. And you keep saying there's nothing we can do about it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't push this issue. Work with me. That's all I ask. You, ADM, and Lee County, let's get together, sit down 30 minutes. We can work out a situation here. It does not have to be pursued in a federal court. But if it was your property and your water, you'd be less than a citizen if you didn't defend it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. All right, we'll close the citizens open forum. All right. Anything else? Do we have a move to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned.